budget is a complete lack of respect for us as a citizen. And what he's trying to do is say, you know what, we need to raise taxes because of education and the pension fund. Well, you haven't funded education for the last 4 years since you've been in office. You haven't attended one of the Board of Education meeting.
What's on my mind is Bill Fitch trying to raise the mill rate here in Bridgeport, Connecticut, and I'm fed up with it. I own a lot of houses here, and too much is too much.
I'd like to just explain a little bit, if I may, the comments that rightly set off a lot of discussion in the community here. We were at a casual conversation with some residents at my Wednesday brown bag lunch. Every Wednesday, the public is invited from 12:30 to 1:30. I've been doing this for 3 years. Come in and talk about anything. And people were talking about, they were talking about taxes, and we got on the subject of larger houses in St. Mary's. And I made the point, and I think it's correct, that many people who bought those homes got a great deal compared to those similar houses in the suburbs, a fraction of the cost. And while I understand those taxes are onerous, I think it's fair to say that it would take many, many years, if not more than a century, for those people who bought a house for $800,000 or $900,000 to make up the difference between what they would have had to pay, say, in Westport. That was my point. Unfortunately, I think the reporter wanted to maybe sensationalize it a little bit and didn't know that I've been elected by many of you in this room because I do fight property taxes. And for 3 years, I haven't raised property taxes. That's not to say that some taxes 3 years ago didn't change. In Black Rock, many changed. Some went up, some went down, and some stayed relatively the same because of reval. But we didn't change the mill rate for 3 years. People who live in Black Rock have one of the highest standards of living in the United States, and we want to keep it that way. And I want to hear what you have to say about that. So we're going to take questions in a second, and as soon as we get to them, I'd be happy to answer them. All the unions except one have made concessions. The teachers' union has not made concessions, but every other union has made significant concessions.
We have $67 million in total debt. $31 million is for police and fire pension plan A. All the rest is for everything we've built, roads we've paved, everything. One pension plan alone is half our debt.
You petitioned the city council to get raise money, 8 to 15% raises for your staff. I wonder if you could just comment on what performance criteria you're using to allocate that money and to justify it.
Well, let me just start with the raises first. That was misreported. I guess you didn't read my letter. The Post completely had it wrong. That is a grid that we're mandated to bring to the council every year for raises that could happen. So we have to be very transparent, like the budget. We have to say, here is the way the grid is going to change this year, we recommend. You may never give a raise, but you have to bring this grid to show the council what could happen. Now, we didn't do it for 2 years. We kind of broke the rules. Why? Because nobody got raises. Everybody got less money every year. We kept taking furloughs. We kept whatever we had to do to keep the ship afloat. So we didn't do a grid for 2 years. So when we went to the grid, I guess the Connecticut Post forgot, about how, you're supposed to tell the truth about this sort of stuff, and they made it out like we're giving raises.
They come here for a 5-year period. They hire people, and if they don't hire a certain amount of people within that 5 years, they have to pay a percentage of the taxes that they would have paid.
I just want to remind you, for the last few years, nobody's been moving to Connecticut, let alone Bridgeport.
Right.
What we were able to do was we were able to get residential units done in the downtown area. And we did that with those kinds of tax arrangements in order to get the investment in. And you can see what's happened in downtown, right? It's much better than it's ever been, and we're gonna do the downtown north next with the same kind of thing. And the council's got to be brave, because they got to look you in the eye and say, yeah, I gave that developer a break, but look, it brought all this investment. You got to do that, or you're not going to get it. Every city does that.
I pay $120,000 a year of taxes, and I'm not willing to pay no more. That's it. And today, I brought 2 of my tenants. One works on Penn Plastic down on Bishop Avenue.
I know the company.
Out of business. So, I don't know if you want to tell them, the guy over there, and the lady next to him, Miriam, she sells empanada from her house to pay her rent, and she's always a month behind on her rent. So I'm giving her the opportunity, him and I should give Mr. Ortiz over there the opportunity to pay, you know, the rent. So I don't know if, you know, raising the taxes, you know, I'm gonna have the opportunity, you know, for them to pay the rent.
That's exactly why we didn't raise taxes for 3 years, and we would prefer not to if
Yeah,
the
but I
money could
think
come from a tree.
We should try to get more ideas, you know, from our people here in Bridgeport.
Right.
How.
That's why we're doing this, so give us your ideas.
So, give us your time, not 30 minutes, you know, on bunch hours. I have never seen you walk, you know, in one of the neighborhood stores or Moribibi, you know, spending.
That's good food.
Yeah, but I never seen you there.
Well, we go at different times.
I never, you know, I haven't even see you go to a.
If I go there, will you go for the tax
store,
increase?
a neighborhood store to buy a bottle of water.
You'll see when we're ready to
You understand
vote.
what I'm saying? You should get out of your office, dress normally like that, and go and talk to the people.
Well, we can make an appointment to go to a bodega together, but I go many times. I'm not gonna sit and
with
defend
me, I
my,
just want you to meet the people and start talking with the people, not just in meetings, you know, like this.
Why don't we go with this gentleman over here?
I'm sorry, Mayor, excuse me. There are women in the room and they have their hands up. And
Everybody will get their I'm sure we'll do women, we'll do men.
Why do you need a moderator?
because you're here.
This gentleman, please.
That's the question.
Right. Not one woman's been called so far.
Bill, to follow on that.
Male pattern blindness.
Would you mind,
I don't mind, I'll defer.
we'll go to Rosie. Rosie, you go.
Okay.
No. She has
Her, right here.
right
The lady in yellow, right here.
There's a lot of people that have their hand. Oh, just going around.
Yeah, go to Rosie, go to Rosie.
Want to do that?
We can have a dialogue or we can have a shouting match. What would you prefer?
Mayor, you said that we need 7.5 million, 7.2 million to balance the budget. Can you tell me why there are 82 ghost positions in all of the city offices? The accounting, the police, the fire, the planning and zoning, every single office, there are total 82 positions.
We started this year with 80 vacancies. We started the year because we anticipated to hire a fire class that had 18 vacancies in there.
I don't want to interrupt, but he just said he let go over, what, 200?
It'll be almost 250
Correct.
since I took
If you look in this book, I believe it's page, let's say 17 maybe, if my brain works correctly, you'll see a summary of positions in here for the whole term on positions. The budget's fluid. People are going to happen all the time. There's a variety of reasons. This is what I'm telling you. There is civil service and testing requirements. You have to go through these testing procedures. There are federal things like fingerprinting, et cetera, we go
So you're telling me
through.
we need 82 new hires?
I'm telling you, there's 60 in this book, and yes.
All right, 60.
If you look throughout the book of where the vacancies are, like the mayor said, if you don't believe I need them in the roadway crew, where there's 11 of them, that cleans your
Are
streets,
those
that cleans your parks.
jobs advertised? Are you looking to hire those 60
Yes.
that you are budgeting for?
Yes.
You're talking about pensions, retirement.
Yes, I am.
I mean, that's 5.2 million is a lot of money.
But you're
to put in
mixing
your
2
budget.
years too. Again, I'm just trying to say, first of all, the document is fluid, employment is fluid. People retire. When we do things and we plan a budget, again, a budget is a plan.
You're gonna have a lot of work. Can we at least give the jobs to the people that live here?
We are.
So that at least if the money's coming in, it's recycling within the city.
We are, and I'd be happy to talk to you offline, but you jumped out of turn.
Excuse me, I have to pick up my children, please, can I say something? Please. First of all, Mr. Mayor, I voted for you as well.
Thank you.
I want to ask you, man to man, why should I believe you now, when the first thing you did when you got my vote was cut education? Why should I believe you now? Now, I'm in full agreement, Mr. Mayor, of bettering our schools. You know, but you can't squeeze water from a rock. That's right. At the same time, what is wrong with instituting a commuter tax? Our tax dollars drive out of this city every single day to different towns.
The state issue.
Institute a commuter tax.
You know, that's like a ghost town. You go around and you see all this abandoned house. What are you doing for, you increasing all these taxes, what are you doing to help the homeowners that want to keep their home? Because I want to keep their home. I don't know where I can go and get help. Like right now, we're struggling to pay our mortgage.
Because I've been here for 45 years, living in this city. I've been self-employed, licensed, insured, and I've been trying to get jobs for this city. I call, and I never get an answer back.
Joe, give me your phone number.
We get a one-time opportunity per charter as citizens to come together as we are tonight, to ask questions and maybe get answers. That's right here in the middle of this process. This is our public slice, okay? Everything else is our 7, I call them blindfolded, because I've sat at some of the meetings, representatives on the budget and appropriations. They're the ones who go over they drill down, come to the meetings. Mr. Fardy and I did that last year. Our city charter says.
Our city attorney says
I knew
that
had other people talking. Who wants to hear me say
We'll do a
more?
12-month report. We'll issue a 12-month report.
All right, because again, to have 2 minutes, do you think I'm overboard?
No, you're making sense. Go
Okay,
ahead.
thank you. We're making sense. How come the
Make some
mayor,
dollars,
that's you, Mr. Finch, how come you're not giving us the 12th month?
I do, John.
You don't?
We've been, just for the audience's edification, we've been through this for 4 years. We've told you the same answer. We're not going to change. If you'd like us to do a pro forma report for you, we'd be happy to,
No,
John.
for the city, because that's what the charter
John, we
says.
do what the charter says.
Now, we had a financial review board in this community. How many years
I
ago?
was here.
22 years ago?
I
And
was
Mr.
here.
Sherwood gave me this answer. So I had a neighbor.
John, maybe we could talk to the audience, since that's who you want to talk to, about what that 11th month report,
No,
12th month report might do for our overburdened taxpayers who are trying to save money.
Tell them where the money was spent.
Yeah, tell us
That's
where
what
the
the
money
audit
was
does.
spent. No, it doesn't. It doesn't tell me by the line item where this Sue Branley is on the city council and represents us. How much do you get, how much is there for your stipend? $9,000 times 20 people, $180,000. The purchasing report for the city shows $26,000 for last year, for 2011.
There's things that people don't really, they don't realize how tight money is. You don't know how tight money really is.
You know,
in Bridgeport.
we do know how tight money is.
You're not solving it. You're not
We,
solving it.
well, can I talk? Can I,
Nobody has to. You're the mayor.
I'd like to tell you what your chief elected official thinks, if you don't mind. Because I know a lot of people are upset, and they don't want to talk, and they don't want to dialogue. What I started out, and I want to remind you, that we have a strategic opportunity to make our laughingstock schools nationally recognized for the reforms that Mr. Vallis can bring to us. I know this is asking a lot. That's why I never asked this of you before. I never asked you for a tax increase like this before. I'm asking it because it's for the children. We have an opportunity here that is a unique and historic opportunity. If we blow it, shame on us.
We can't afford it.
Well, I'm asking you to afford it. I'm asking you to deep down, I know it's going to be a struggle, but if it weren't for this strategic opportunity for our schools, I wouldn't ask you. And that's why I never asked it for you before.
I can't afford it.